morning, good evening, good afternoon, and thank you for tuning into my channel this morning. Instead of me answering the comments back at the page itself, I thought I would just go ahead and verbally answer the comments as I went along. So let's go down here and let's see. Minimalism by Ann says, I used to love these. I don't know if it's just me, but they seem to used to be more fruity or whatever the filling is. Now they seem to be mostly crust. I have to agree with you on that. I do remember, of course, what, 20, 25, 30 years back, 80s, 90s. I do remember them being fruitier on the inside than what they are now. I don't know what Kellogg's is doing. I know a lot of your manufacturers are reducing ounce sizes and they're cutting back on the amount of, the main product or the main ingredient that they use to sell the product. So that makes sense. I have to agree with you on that. There is a difference. Okay, Kathy Perandez, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I love brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts. I once read an article on what Sunday morning routine people have, and one guy said he reads the paper and eats a whole box of Pop-Tarts, laugh out loud. Wow. I don't know if I would want to eat a whole box of Pop-Tarts. One, that's a lot of calories, a lot of carbohydrates, lots of sugar. I hope he doesn't do that daily. If he does, okay, you said Sunday. But I usually eat maybe one Pop-Tart at breakfast. Depending on how I feel, I might go two, but usually it's just one. Yeah, the brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart is a real good one. There's just something about them that's so flavorful. It's like you put, butter and, sprinkle a little cinnamon on a piece of bread. It kind of has that feel to it. So I have to agree. But the guy who reads the paper and eats a whole box of Pop-Tarts, I don't know about that. That's okay. I guess whatever floats your boat. All right, Beth Beckermeyer. You never cared for them. And I can see why. It's mostly crust. There's not a whole lot really there to it. Coming back to minimalism by Ann's response, at one time they were fruitier, like in the 80s and 90s, as I mentioned. But then somewhere right around the 2000s, latter part of the 90s, Kellogg's decided to cut corners and put less filling in it. But I understand where you're coming from. I can see in that case maybe something more like a strudel or something like that that's a lot fruitier, or a piece of pie. I definitely get that. Okay. Patty, I failed your quizzy, Steve. Well, that's all right. I did respond to you in that respect. And it's all right. It is all in fun. It's just a game. This particular segment, even though it wasn't really too terribly long, so to speak, as far as, time to put it out there, it definitely taught me a thing or two about a Pop-Tart that I didn't even know about. I didn't realize that it had come out in the 60s when it did, 1964. I didn't realize that the frosted version came out in 67. I've always been a fan of all the flavors, but one of the ones in particular that I always liked, and it would have had to have come out sometime in the 1970s, I'm thinking, is the frosted cherry flavor. For some reason, I always liked that cherry taste. That's definitely one, once you take a bite of it within the first few seconds, that cherry flavor hits you in the face, and that must be what I like about it. But I just thought I would go ahead and take the liberty of just answering the questions verbally rather than write it back to you. But what I will do here, just to, I don't want to go and leave any comment or anything you guys tell me unsaid or not respond to it, because that's not fair to you. And I really appreciate you guys' comments on what you say about this, or any other subject that may go up. So let's see. But the only thing I can say is I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Like I said, this was a spur of the moment, last minute thing that just happened to pop in my head. But if you like what you see, those of you that are just, passing by, please definitely consider subscribing to my channel. But before you do, please go back and look at my content and see if it's anything of your interest. And if it is, and you decide to subscribe, I really appreciate it. New subscribers, thank you. I appreciate you becoming a subscriber. Nice to meet you. And my veterans, as always, I appreciate all of you guys from the bottom of my heart. Just want to say again, thank you very much. And I will see you guys in the near future with another upcoming video. Take care and have a nice morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at.